Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to PatFacts. Coming live from our exclusive ritzy room. No, same location, just put up a different background tonight. It kind of ties in with our theme. If you saw what we posted in the comments, putting on the ritz. How there's not really a need to. Something like this, putting the background up, just to add some color, some different feel to the show. Last week we had our party background for our 3-year anniversary. Thanks to Blake Miles for stopping by and joining us, sharing some feedback. And thanks to all of you who tuned in and who have shared your favorite lessons, favorite moments from the past 3 years. If you haven't seen it, go back, check it out. A lot of fun. As always, when Blake hopped in on the stream with us. And again, great to share some of my favorite moments. Blake shared some of his as a viewer and a guest, and some viewers did. So go back, check those out. Feel free again to leave your favorite comments, your favorite lesson, your favorite moment from the past 3 years, and also leave things maybe you'd like to see us expand to and bring out over the next hopefully 3 years, or the time going forward, what topics you'd like us to talk about. Maybe there's someone you'd like us to bring on. Let me know. As I mentioned, I do want to expand and create a podcast out of this, both from this type of format where it's just me talking to you guys, but also have one-on-one interview style where I bring someone on and try to give you guys some different viewpoints, some different experts to come in and share their information and their experience with you guys. As well. Hey, Nadia, welcome in. Good to see you. Tonight, getting back with our topic, putting on the ritz, how there's no need to do so. This topic came to me not just because of my snazzy background, but I've been in a situation about a couple weeks now, really heavy the last week or so, where some of the environments I'm in, there's been a emphasis on setting things up, making things maybe look fancier or better than what they really are. And it's I was trying to figure out why it bothered me, why I get so agitated with it. There's multiple reasons, but when I really thought of it and got to the core of it, what I realized was we weren't being authentic in those moments. We're just being real and being how things are in the moment. There's a big facade put on to be impressive to some VIPs that are involved. And we do this I go through this multiple times a year, really. And I find it's just not fitting for me. It's not really, I try to be authentic as I can and be the best version of myself and be myself. So kind of what you see is what you get. Obviously, there's different moments where you have to be maybe a little more behaved or a little more professional. We all have those. But I still try to be the best version of me that I can and be as authentic as I can. But appearance was more important in this instance. And again, it happens throughout the year to us. And I really, again, thinking of it, really got to the root of it. And I felt that was what bothered me the most. It's not authentic. It's not real. It's not an actual representation of what things are. And I feel like what we go away from to create this facade in this environment, what we go away from is great. If you look at results, if you look at productivity, it doesn't look perfect. Maybe it's not aesthetically flawless, but what is and what should be, and it's not a realistic representation. But it's felt like it has to be done to impress the VIPs or the company that's coming in. So yeah, exactly. Apparently, Maddie, authenticity doesn't sell as much. It's not, well, unfortunately, not totally what was sought after. And again, the feeling is that we can't be authentic because it doesn't, I guess, again, paint a good enough picture for these VIPs and these people that are going to be in this environment. When in my mind, if it was the way it just actually is every day, and we sort of just make sure things are tidy and things are smooth and working the way they're supposed to, then to me, that's a more authentic representation. And if trying to put myself in the shoes of the VIP, I would think I would want to see that more than the perfect picture of this setting and how things are flawless and running smoothly. But I guess I'm missing something in that environment, because it's not what's done. It's everything's a certain way and looks a certain way and is done, and we go the extra degree to do things. And again, it's not a real authentic representation. We're putting on the ritz. We're putting on the pizzazz and the style, and making sure the piano's open and there's some sheet music on it to make it look like we play. We're staging the environment like you would stage a house to sell it. And that's not necessarily authentic to you, but it shows, I guess, what could be done, or different ideas, I guess, with the house. Whereas this, we're kind of staging. And I made the comment to someone, it's almost like we're a showroom as opposed to what we're trying to create. So I just thought it was a great reminder to us as a community as a whole to don't worry so much about putting on the ritz. If you remember that song, if you don't, YouTube it, look it up on Apple Music. It was a catchy song, I think, from the 80s. Putting on the ritz. It means kind of putting on a front, putting on something that isn't authentic, that isn't true, just to maybe look impressive or be impressive. And we see that a lot now on social media. You know, everyone's Instagram famous, social media famous, where pictures are airbrushed, or they get just the right lighting and the right filter to look a certain way and make sure they come across with that image, rather than just being themselves. And so people fall into that. People who view those things think that is reality, and oh, that's how I should look, or that's how my ad should be, that's what my glutes should look like, or that's the kind of shirt I should wear. When really we should just be ourselves and be authentic to ourselves, and do what makes us happy, and take the best care of ourselves we can, and be the best version of ourselves we can be, like we like to talk about here and say here. But again, unfortunately, we get caught into that influence and that wormhole of the internet, the interweb. The Kardashian era. This is for sure. It's that BK tweets. Welcome in. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Always a pleasure to have you here. Unfortunately, again, we see that, we get into that trap of, well, I should have that kind of car, or I should have that kind of house, or I should look that way. When again, really, we should just be worrying about ourselves. And the only person we should be competing against or comparing ourselves to is ourselves. How was I yesterday compared to today? Am I getting better? What did I struggle with yesterday? What can I do better today? But how can I be better and do better and try harder, but still be true to myself? And that's ultimately what we want to be. That's a part of being operationally fit. We're fit to do things physically, mentally, socially, but part of that is being ourselves and being authentic, so we can be happy and content, have a good self-image and a good self-talk. Again, all these things tie in together, so we want to make sure we're taking care of them, so we can be the best version of ourselves possible. So again, just a reminder, just being in an environment and seeing everything going on, and all the extra hands that came in to, again, put on this ritz for us, to put on this big horse and pony show, really, and really multiple days of work for about a 1 hour's worth of VIP company. So not really worth it in the end anyway, and a lot of the stuff wasn't really paid attention to, was done for nothing. So not for nothing, maybe some of it was useful for other things, but above and beyond what was actually needed, just above the minimum would have been just fine. But it is what it is. So reminder for us, let's be as authentic as we can. Don't worry about the keeping up with the Joneses. Do you, whatever works best for you, whatever makes you happy, as long as you're, again, striving to be your best, you're taking good care of yourself, you're making the best choices as you can, majority of the time, doing the best. That's what matters. Be yourself. Be who you are. Don't feel you have to be someone else to be live on social media, to stand up in front of a crowd and present a topic, to go for that promotion at work. whatever the case is, we should always be able to be ourselves. Again, there's different degrees of ourselves: professional, maybe more relaxed, maybe more the fun side. There's different environments where we have to kind of change that dial, but it should just be a little different variation of us, not totally different people, not totally different versions. So posting PatFacts, me should be the same as teaching a class. Me should be the same as hanging out with me. Again, there's just little different degrees of some professionalism or some content or mannerisms or appropriateness that are expected, but me should be me. And talking with Natty after hearing Blake say that I was kind of the serious one on our other show that he and I did together, it was a bit of a surprise because I'm more of the whatever, I guess, the outgoing one and like to have fun. And I do that here too. But again, I think there's a time and a place where I can present my topic, have a bit of fun, but still be kind of that professional mode, maybe more so than serious is how I kind of looked at it. And I guess they were a little more on the lighter side of the show itself. But again, just different environments. I chose to be a certain way, and I was a little more laid back than here because the two, and then the three of them, the other hosts with me, were there to feed off of and enjoy each other's company and have fun with. So it's a little different environment as well, but I still did my best to stay authentic to me and who I was and what I wanted to accomplish. Posting on social media, whether it's PatFacts, whether it was the three Not So Wise Men, whether I've been a guest on people's podcasts. I try to be authentic and be myself and make a name for myself is what I'm trying to do, but make that name be applicable to me, not some other version of me that's the on camera or on microphone version of Pat. It's just exactly, Natty's the same at my core. And core training is important to me. Nice time in that. So the fitness, that was good. Internally, we're the same at our core. Again, there's just different varying degrees, or you change the dial, you change the setting a little bit to work within the environment that you're in that moment. You read the room, so to speak, and know what words to use or how to behave yourself. Maybe a little more thinking of being at home at the dinner table versus at a restaurant. You're probably still yourself, but maybe you dial things down a little bit to the more polite and extra professional and well behaved because there's other people and you should interact with wait staff and things like that, and maybe other guests that are at the table with you. So you change that a little bit. If you're just out with a bunch of friends, then maybe that's not the case. Again, it's a case by case scenario, but you're still you regardless of it. For any of you, I know there's a few of you here that tune in that like to watch wrestling, the WWE style professional wrestling. And a lot of the wrestlers and people that work in the company, if you talk to them, the ones that are really, really successful and have good connection with the audience and have long careers, the common thing you typically hear from them is that their character on wrestling is them, but dialed up. The intensity is dialed up to 10 or 20. But to the core of it, like Natty said, it's them. It's just really amped up. And then because they're being authentic, they're being themselves, that creates that connection, that creates the relatability that we desire, we want to have. And then again, that gives them that success, that following, that crowd behind them, the crowd cheering against them, the back and forth, whatever it is throughout their career. But if they're authentic, then that creates that connection. And it's easier for them to buy into what they're doing as a character and what they're given to do each week. And again, it's easy for us to buy into them being that, because you can kind of tell maybe when someone is putting on the ritz and doing something that's not true to them, or just going through the motions because they have to act this certain way. That's funny, as you say, I should probably dial things down now and then your next comment is, yeah, it's Team Stone Cold. We'll work on the dial. It's okay. Slow progressions. But again, Stone Cold is an example of that, who says it was him just really dialed up, turned up the intensity and amplified it and found that extra gear. But it was him at his core. It was just really, really riled up. So, and thinking of athletes, if you can find an athlete who is authentic in themselves, then you kind of know which way to gravitate. Certain athletes you'll want to follow and want to maybe become fans of, and the other ones you won't, either because they're not being authentic, or maybe who they are off the court isn't authentic, and who they are on the court or field or ice is. And you can see that difference. I think you're that person when you play, but you're putting on the show when you're off the court, off the field. So there's a little disconnect there, and then that can create disconnect between you as a fan and them as that athlete or that celebrity, or whatever the case is. And so what we want to do again is, as we're authentic and not putting on the ritz for those that are around us, or just being ourselves, we'll attract people who want to be around us and want to be around our genuine selves. And that's what we want. Again, we've talked about that. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You're going to attract that good circle of 5, the good people there, if you're being authentic. If I'm authentic as a trainer and as a fitness coach, I'll attract clients who want to work with me and my style of training and my beliefs. And then again, it's a good partnership. I'll be extra motivated and enthusiastic to train them, to coach them, and they'll be enthusiastic and interested in attending sessions, in kind of following the directive, the program, and sticking with things as they go forward. And then again, they'll get better results out of it as they're going through. Hello. So you want to be as authentic as you can and be yourself. That's how you're supposed to be. That's what you're made to be. And again, as you're trying to create relationships, have good people around you that you can help and that can help you, being authentic is how we attract those appropriate people. Those of you who are tuning in, some of you from Twitch, we've met on Twitch watching DJs that we mutually enjoy and respect, and we've become connected and friends and contacts because we were our authentic selves online, and even though it was on a chat, and it's hard to maybe totally gauge that spending time together in any area, you find that authenticity, you find who's there. And those of you who have been with us, who we just met during the pandemic, again through Twitch, you can see who sticks around and who's kind of come and gone. And early on, there was a few little different crowd there that kind of went away because they weren't part of that vibe. The authentic people, in my mind, stuck around. And just like here, those of you who are appreciate my authenticity, hopefully, and understand that it's there, and I appreciate your authenticity. You guys show up, you put in the work, you talk with each other, you've built that community because there's a mutual interest, a mutual respect to yourself to get better, and an authenticity that I try to give to you and you guys give back to me, and then now you give to each other within that chat as well. Bonnie, welcome. Late again. That's okay. Better late than never. Sorry I missed you last week. Your comment popped up as I was signing off, and I just missed it. So sorry to not miss that shout out. But thanks for popping on last week. Blake and I were, as always, happy to see you, and great to have you here, as always, Bonnie. We're just talking about not putting on the ritz, about being authentic. We got some agreement here from K-Man. Welcome, Chris. Good to see you. Maddie as well, agreeing. Yeah, our 7 p.m. crew. With Scratch, BK Sweet again, music noticing that as well, and agreeing. And again, whatever, some of us watch the same DJ, some of us watch multiple DJs together. And again, that authenticity, you can see if they're authentic, that attracts us. We're there to watch them and listen to them play music because their style. And then the crowds and the chats connect with each other as well and builds that community. And again, that's a big part of what we like to refer to as our positivity pandemic. If we're authentic and we're being ourselves, we share that positive energy. That positive energy shares back to us. And then who we share energy with, they share that positive energy with people around them. So again, we're all, even though maybe we don't like to think of ourselves, or maybe just don't think of ourselves this way, we've talked here before about how we are all role models. Someone's looking up to us or watching us as an example, whether we're on a platform like this where we're trying to lead communities to change and be better, or we're just out and about in our social settings, at the grocery store, at a restaurant, in class, whatever the case is, people will follow our example. And if we can provide that positive example, that authentic example, and people will start to know us and understand that that's just who we are, then hopefully feel more comfortable being themselves too, being authentic. And if we can all be more authentic, then again, we can all surround ourselves with the people who we want to be around, who want to be around us, who can work well together, collaborate well together, pick each other up when we need it, be the shoulder to cry on when we need it, be the kick in the pants when you need it, because you know what's coming from them, you know it's authentic, you know it's genuine, and then it means that much more if we can spread that around us, and hopefully that helps us stay out of the darkness, the heaviness that is around us. So we think of positivity pandemic of just being that good energy, and it is, but authenticity is a huge part. If you just fake it, people can see through that. They'll know when you're trying to be positive, but maybe you're not feeling it. It'll come through, it'll show up. But if you can be authentically be yourself and be positive and be happy and just try to be genuine with people, again, they'll pick up on that. They'll feed off that. And then their next interaction hopefully will be because of it as well. And that's how we spread that positivity pandemic throughout our world, our communities, our environments. And again, as that spreads and moves, the more people we reach, the more people they'll reach, and the more people they'll reach. And again, ideally, we'll have much more positivity, much less negativity. And then again, that'll help influence a lot of different areas in our life and those around us. Exactly. Yeah. Cayman says our positivity got us mod gigs, some moderator gigs with the greatest DJ starting from scratch. For sure. And we all mod for multiple channels too. And again, it's positivity. It's our authenticity. We are when those of us who moderate for people would show up each stream. We were us. We were the same person each time. And then that gave them, the DJ or the streamer, that sort of interaction and that relationship to know, okay, I want that kind of energy looking after my chat. I want that kind of positivity. I want that kind of person being here. And again, it's same day to day. You work with people, you're authentic, you're yourself. The people who want to be around you again will gravitate to you. You'll maybe find at work you're around the same group of people, probably because you have the same interests, or you're maybe all authentic and genuine, and you don't want to do the other non-authentic stuff, and you group together and you gravitate to each other and work well together. Those teams and those groups kind of form at work. It's all because of that. Authenticity is a big part of that as well. So we want to make sure that, again, we're conveying that as much as we can. So I thought it was just a great moment to bring that up. Again, being in sort of a non-authentic environment for the last week and a half, and going through it multiple times through the year, really, and really, again, this week having that epiphany, I guess, that this is probably a big portion of why it's kind of aggravating me so much, why it bothers me so much to try to get through this. It's the lack of authenticity that's there, and to me, is if authentic, then that should be enough for the people that are coming in, because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing and getting the results that are wanted. So that should be more than enough in my eyes. So I thought it was a great reminder again with social media. It's very easy to get on these guys and scroll through and see a lot of things that aren't authentic, that are fake, that are there for image, for likes and follows, for the attention and the fame or notoriety, when really we should just be happy with being ourselves. We sometimes are the ones that will suffer because those people are trying to put on the ritz and put on those airs and look a certain way to try to maybe get endorsement deals, or maybe make a break, or maybe just get attention that they need, or try to find certain people to follow them. So don't get sucked into it. Be mindful of what it is that you're consuming. Again, as our pal Todd Durkin says, it's called a feed for a reason, because it's feeding you information. So you can choose what you consume, though. Maybe it's time, like we like to say, we put in some work after PatFacts, we make it a night. Maybe it's time to go through your social media and think, do I need to follow this? Or this person, this company, this platform, are they being authentic? Are they being authentic for me? Is there a connection there? Or are they creating sort of a unrealistic hope or unrealistic idea of the way things should be? And is that affecting me and how I'm thinking about myself, how I'm performing, my energy, my enthusiasm towards reaching my goals? We need to do some of these audits and this work time to make sure that we're on the right track. And we talk about we're the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with. We're also the sum of the amount of material we take in via social media, via news outlets. A lot of people are even saying the type of music and things we listen to can affect our moods and what we're doing. So maybe do that audit of those social media. Are you just maybe following a few people because someone suggested it or asked you to, and maybe it's not a good fit? Or maybe you just get in that habit of follow like. Maybe it's time to clean it up and just have those accounts that bring good energy, good news, bring that authenticity that you deserve and that you need and that you are committing to put out there as well. It never hurts to do those audits and do those checks, just like you would with the people in your life, and do those audits and adjust or tweak maybe how much you interact with them, or maybe just cut them out altogether if need be. Same thing, social media, you can unfollow, you can block, you can mute for 30 days, and maybe some different platforms have different options where maybe you could just quiet them down a little bit and just see if you notice a difference in the content you're seeing, but also how you feel from what you see in this new content. Because again, it is very important what we take in. I'm just going to pop to the comments here. Love to see them. Feel free to let us know if there's certain things you've done to maybe make sure you're being authentic, or maybe a time when you cut something or an account or something out because it wasn't being as authentic as you needed to be. Again, we'd love to hear from you guys. Lots of awesome. Yes, everyone complimenting each other on their positivity. Yeah, and they're, again, we are what you see. Definitely, that's why we all get along so well. Yeah, talking about social media, filtered and filled. What we see online, it's filtered and filled and touched up and staged and planned, and multiple takes are done, multiple attempts to get that perfect shot are done to get that perfect look. When a lot of times people don't want to see that anymore. They want to see the authenticity. They want to see the person without filters and without makeup on, or whatever the case is, or just being there. It's good to have that high level of content, but some authenticity is nice there too. Because again, this is how we create the connection. We're not hanging out in person and spending time together to really get to know each other. You see me and hear me. I see what you type, and we try to build connections and authenticity that way. So if I have my fancy background all the time and put on a tie and my monocle, it's going to create a little different atmosphere, or maybe different perception. I'm not being authentic. Where this is me, backwards hat, some sweats or a golf shirt. Again, trying to look presentable but still be authentic to me. That's what we all kind of want, and what's we all want to see from there. Awesome, Bonnie. Yeah, Bonnie says quality over quantities for sure. So again, that social media feed, maybe going through it, and maybe you don't need to follow 300 people. Maybe need 50 quality accounts to get maybe your motivation, your inspiration, some knowledge, maybe stay in touch with some friends to see what they're up to. Quantity doesn't always equal positive. It's not always the most important thing. Quality a lot of times is more important than the quantity. So great way to look at it, Bonnie, for sure, when you're doing those social media audits, and those, maybe getting rid of some of those followers or timing them out for a little bit to just see how your feed changes, and the mood or the inspiration of your feed. Looking for that quality. Accounts people and trust, sources are great ways to start it and to think of that. Nat says she's always blocking. That's true. Yeah, K-Man says, can we block negative people in real life? That would be fun. It would be helpful a lot of times. We can't always, but sometimes we can, again, maybe limit the time with them, maybe limit our exposure. Maybe we can try to limit the interactions or keep ourselves from getting too involved maybe with those negative people and what's going on. We can't avoid everybody. There's different situations where maybe we have to be around certain people, but if we can maybe limit that or modify that, or sometimes I like to be a bit of a jerk and just turn up my positive energy even more to those negative people and try to maybe cheer them up. But if not, just show them that I'm more into the positive side of things. And that's where I kind of want things to go. And either we do that, or again, maybe they just decide that I'm not a good fit for them, and that's okay. It's whatever is authentic to them. I'd rather fall into that. Yeah. Weather reports, you came in, your weather reports are authentic and unplanned, but always accurate. Mostly, we do a good job. What's Cayman would pay to see me in a monocle like the penguin? Awesome. We'll find a monocle somewhere, Cayman, for sure. Yeah, and kill them with kindness. That's the main thing we want to do. We want to kill them with kindness and ultimately be ourselves. That's what we want to be. That's what we want to put out there. That's what we want to take in, people that are authentic, so we can feel almost validated in our authenticity, that we are doing the right thing. So your challenge is to really focus on how you're interacting with people, how you're being, making sure you're being your authentic self, maybe even figuring out what your authentic self is. Maybe you've lost your way a little bit. Maybe you've been distracted from social media and different things. Maybe sit down and think, who am I? What am I? What do I want to be? What type of energy do I want to give? What kind of personality do I want to show? And then are you living up to that? Are you being authentic to who you are? I mean, no judgment if you're not. We all get distracted and sidetracked. And again, sometimes in these environments, we get kind of drawn into it. But now it's time to check in. And then what can I do to get back on track to being my authentic self? And making sure that I am being me and I'm being who I'm supposed to be. And then again, that will have a ripple effect on the people around you, whether it's who's surrounding you or the people you interact with and how they feel about themselves as well. And then do that audit on your social media, on your following, on your shows, whatever you're reading. Do a little audit on that stuff. Is it good, authentic, quality content? Quality, not quantity, as Bonnie mentioned, and making sure that we kind of check as many of those boxes as we can. And again, you'll take in good content. If you're taking in authenticity, again, you're more likely to give off that authenticity, and then people around you, same thing. They'll take that in, they'll give it off as well. And wouldn't it be great if we could be surrounded by a bunch of authentic, genuine, kind, caring people? That's it for tonight, gang. Thanks so much for being here as always. I love the interactions in the chats. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you're with us on recording, welcome in and let us know again how you try to be authentic, what you do to be your genuine self, or maybe some things you're going to maybe try to tweak a bit to be even more authentic than you already are. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe out there. Remember, always keep that self-care up. We'll see you back next week. Natty, you can go ahead and rate it if you like. We'll see you back here next week at 6. BK, Bondi, Chris, Nads, thanks for being here. Stay safe, everyone. Take care of yourself. And remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe. Have a great night.